Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Sabrina Watson, and I am your co-host here with author Ha Tran. You can find Ha Tran at Ha for Hope, and her book is, hold up your book, Miss Ha.
Right here.
Empowered by Hope, which is the true story of Ha's journey here from communist-occupied Vietnam to the United States many years ago. It is an amazing read. So she has become a coach and author, and she is a positive. What kind of coach do you say that you are, Ha?
A navigational speaker. Oh, I'm a navigational coach.
She's a navigational coach as well as a speaker, as well as an author. Yeah. And today we're going to talk about keeping a positive mental attitude. And she's going to help keep you on track. Let's talk about track. Let's talk about what track stands for first, Ha. What does track mean?
So track, and that is, I so embrace that idea because track it to you is thank you, that's the gratitude. And then the R is for remembrance, and the A for acknowledgement, and the C for connection. So, and that is the track that I run on. So I want to help our viewer, who joining us or who will listen to us at a later time, to stay on track. Today our talking point is PMA, that is the Positive Mental Attitude. But before that, Sabrina, tell us about your amazing life and what have you do so exciting lately?
I got to tell you, Ha, I don't know if I do anything exciting. I'm extremely busy all the time because my job or the services that I offer are helping to connect people virtually with my new website, networklivevirtually.com. And I bring people together like that. So I don't really have any services to sell. So it's really important for me when I go out there and I meet people that I am projecting a persona that they find interesting and that they want to connect with me. And I'm hoping that they'll come connect with me. Today we're talking about keeping a positive mental attitude. I think there is a lot of opportunity today to be drugged down by people that are out there. For example, I did a 2-hour workshop last night that I did free of charge for 26 people, and it was about building a website. And when I got there, one of the people said to me, I just wanted to let you know that at your last workshop that somebody thought you said some pretty negative things about somebody else. And I said, what are you talking about? And they elaborated on that. And I said, well, you know what? I said, that is entirely not true. So here I am about to give a 2-hour free workshop, and somebody's just hit me with something negative that supposedly I did that was absolutely not true. So how do you keep a positive attitude after that to do your workshop? I mean, truthfully, I felt like going, you know what? You guys can get somebody else to do this free workshop. I'm out of here.
Yeah, sometimes that we have the people, they just want to show up, and then they really don't have any positive mental attitude. They want to make living hell to somebody else by raising something negative, or they say something that is untrue. I think that the best way to do it is just to ignore them, or just to say that, okay, right now that you have to have something going on, and so you will address that at a later time. Or something, and just ignore them, because you don't want to respond to the people that who just feed such a negative energy into your workshop or the environment that you try to create for others.
Mm-hmm. Well, luckily for me, this person left, and once I started doing my presentation, my workshop, I was having some real good interaction with people in the room, and I ended up having a really good time. But that was like this big Debbie Downer, like straight out of the gate, right at the beginning.
Yeah, people certainly come in with agenda, and I will not feed any more of, because they suck out the energy from you. So the best thing is to ignore them. And I just read something recently, and the author said that the positive person, like you, me, Chuck, and everybody else, we take actions, and the negative, the pessimistic people, they are take the seat. And when they take a seat, they certainly very unhappy about themselves, and they will take any shot at anybody because they just not happy people. But the bottom line is you have a good time, and you do some teaching, and you have a lot of followers after that.
So my question is, how do you bounce back from that moment and keep your positive mental attitude? There's a lot of negative stuff happening every day in the world. How do you blow it off?
I think that because of the journey I went through, I developed such a thick skin. I think it's just, I don't know, but I embrace the love, the sensitivity of the positive people. And those people, it just like they no longer exist to me. I just ignore them completely because just to me that they are not there.
So you don't give them bad energy, you just give them no energy.
No energy whatsoever, and that's how I approaching that. And then and then if you just turn your head, switch the channel, turn your head away from him, because I know that as a networking people, we will listen when people talk, but as the person that you can sensing something like that, turn your head away from them and approaching somebody that who listen to you and waiting to hear what you say about your workshop. And almost like in another way, to switch the channel. Because see, when I switch the channel, that channel is no longer there. I see a different view, different channel. Now, see, people think that I'm overly positive person. I don't know, but to me, if I look at the sky, if you're asking me what the color of the sky, I would say blue, because the deep down, I believe that the sky always blue. But sometimes you see the dark cloud and you can see the gray cloud because something just happened and it will blow away. And, I will just have the image and envisions the blue sky with the promising future.
Well, I don't know how you could have a too positive attitude. I don't know how you could do that.
Because you don't have any choice. You want to let them suck all the energy away from you. I call that the energy vampire. They just suck energy from you, or you just protect yourself with all the people that you associate with, who just like boost you up and lift you up and pull you up and push you along the way. Because there's a lot of people out there as well.
What makes somebody want to drag you down?
I won't let that happen. I won't allow them.
Here comes Chuck. Let's ask Chuck.
Here comes
Chuck.
Let's
ask Chuck.
Hey, Chuck, let's ask Chuck.
Well,
that has nothing to do with feed it to Mikey, but
yes. I have an incredible amount of experience with negative people. The first one being myself, and I'm not really too negative anymore, but I'm a physician and I did pain management, and I saw around 10,000 patient visits a year. Not now. I've changed. My practice has changed by my own choice.
Right.
But these are the folks that come in that there's rarely a positive attitude coming towards you, and it's tough, and it's easy to get burned out. And they taught me. I kind of had my own personal transformation just based on learning from them, not wanting to get defeated. So when someone comes in and tries to suck all the air out of the room, a lot of times I will kind of do what Ha does. I kind of tune it out. But what I did do is I actually built a model. I'm in the middle of trying to write a book, but the model is the master and the monster. You're somewhere stuck in the middle, and people aren't necessarily, or you could say the victor and the victim. And people that have a low everybody wants certain things in life. So people want to feel like they're important, and people want to feel that people care about them, and they're looking for, safety and comfort and calmness for an easier road. And their methods to getting there through their lives, how they, some of it's very little's nature, a lot of it's nurture, is what they've had success with in the past. So the angry person that cuts you down or whatever, when you were talking about your free seminar, thanks.
Yeah, I'm doing a 2-hour free workshop.
So like complaining about the cookies, giving away free cookies, and people that, I can't believe you made those cookies. But you know what?
Thank you for that demonstration.
So
one of those, when what I did was I thought, I used to get angry, and I was in the car, and I thought, what if I was on a reality TV show and I had one of those in-car cameras looking at me? Mm-hmm. How would I want myself to act? How would I be proud of? And what I ended up doing was, over time, and I figure it took me about a year for every 10 years of being a pain in the ass, being angry to really practice and get it. And so I will give myself credit when I don't let somebody get me. Mm-hmm. Now, in your case, it's a little bit different, because somebody really was kind of attacking. See, I get upset. I would get upset because that's a character assassination.
I was just going to say that. It's one thing when somebody comes into the room and they're just the Debbie Downer type, and they're just down because the sky is, the sun is shining and the sky is blue. But it's another thing when somebody comes into a room and the first words out of their mouth are an open, blatant attack on you.
Right. When it becomes, and my certain people know this. I kind of have a rule about not getting upset so much anymore. And I'm not a Pollyanna. I'm not overly happy all the time. But if I get mad, I don't stay mad for long, because I know what it does to me. Right. However, if you attack me on a character basis, that is when I will get mad, and I will stay mad, because I really, we do judge ourselves based on our intentions and others on their actions. But sometimes it's just so upsetting because people misread your intentions. Even if you tell them your intentions, even if you say, I'm sorry, that isn't what I meant, they still want to attack you. And the way I look at that is they're only trying to kind of up their position in the game by taking you down. If I go after Sabrina, it's really because Sabrina's making me look bad, and I don't want to feel bad about myself. So if I bring Sabrina down, hey, then we're all stuck here together on Loser Island, and I'm just one of the crowd.
One of the many losers.
Yeah, wow. Well, I'm just basically pulling myself up to, I see myself kind of pulling even and just being stuck in the crowd. And I tell you, I built this model around this, and I've taken a few years to just to watch. I joined the local business club, and I go to the luncheons, and I just ask them, I just ask them questions, just kind of research. I'm not looking for business. I don't have a local business to run. And that's it becomes very consistent. Why do people cut people down? They're really just trying to level the playing field. And, there's something there called, what ends up happening is until you become accountable for yourself, then you really can't move beyond that victim mentality. Once, people talk about, always about the positive and grinding with sales and stuff like that. And I think that most people are stuck in that bottom half where they feel like they're victimized, where they're not getting the credit and it's really just a battle to get through that. And you got to get through that before you can really push forward with your positive, really taking advantage of the positive mental attitude and really becoming more and more successful.
Wow, what you said is so true. And, for me, I learned that because, as a foreigner, I came to this country, you can hear people talk a lot about us, that we come and take their job away, or with a lot of commenting about that. But again, I just learned to control the controllable. If something I cannot control, I have to let go, because if I hang on those, that will kill me slowly and
absolutely
very painful.
They say there's less than 10% of what people worry about they can actually control. And again, if you're someone, in an immigrant situation, people will just put you down from a distance, not knowing you. And the way I look at it is that person has they either have a loss of esteem. You almost say, you're just trying to make up for a low esteem or a low stature, to make yourself feel better about yourself. And you just kind of brush it off and say, what, and a lot of times people do get sucked down into that. You get sucked into that lower thing. And I think that's a part of being assertive is just being able to kind of, as you practiced over time and got very good at it, and just, you just kind of plow through it. For me, when I still get pretty emotional, but I plow through it, and then I have to stop and give myself credit for, you know what, I didn't let that son of a gun do that to me. And Sabrina, she knows she's right there. She's making wonderful, tasty, delectable cookies, and somebody's spitting them out and telling everybody else they're terrible. You almost have to say, you know what, let them get a taste for themselves, and they'll find whether they like the cookies or not.
When that comes back to you full circle,
Yeah,
so-and-so said your cookies are terrible. How do you respond to that? You just look at them and go, well, my cookies were free. I'm sorry you didn't enjoy them.
Let your taste buds be you need to let them run across your taste buds and see if your taste buds like them, rather than letting somebody else's. We all have different likes and dislikes.
Yeah, go ahead, Chuck.
And for Sabrina, you know what? They're free cookies. Nobody said you got to eat them.
Yeah, seriously.
If you don't like what I'm doing, that's fine.
Well, I think part of the problem here's part of the thing is that, Chuck, this particular group, I do free workshops for them. Whenever they ask, I build a workshop based on what they need and do free workshops. I'm a tech girl, Right. So my 2-hour workshop last night was on building a website, not the tech portion of it, but the things you should ask a designer and the things you should consider, about building your website before you build it, your content and your security and your audience and, yada, yada, yada. So I do these workshops for free for this group. And last quarter, I did 3 workshops for them. And my 3 workshops had the highest numbers of everybody there. And this quarter, they only asked me to do 1. And again, my single workshop got the highest numbers. So what's the problem? What's wrong with people like that? Why do they not want, they're their workshops. Why do they not want them to be full? I don't get it.
What is your relationship with the person who runs those workshops?
Well, I don't know. I guess a relationship is okay. I haven't really considered it. I kind of always considered myself a friend of, there's 2 people. There's the person in charge and the person who books the workshops. So I've kind of considered myself a friend with both of them, but we don't have a lot of relationship outside of that setting.
That doesn't matter. As long as there's some trust built up, and you could always do there's always a good technique of asking them just on the side, saying, is there anything that I need to add or take away from the way I'm presenting these things? Do you have any feedback? And just sometimes just asking for their help kind of enlist them on your side. Do you want to do these workshops?
I enjoy doing them. Yeah, that's true right there. I do enjoy doing them, but I'm not going to do them at the expense of getting beat up all the time. Right.
Do you get business from them?
Sometimes, not real often, but sometimes.
Okay. Well, that's weighing the plus and minuses of, benefits to the costs. It sounds like, and again, you hear this all the time, and understanding, mental attitudes and everything. If there's no emotional payoff, sometimes it's just not worth it. And sometimes you make yourself a little bit more scarce to them, then all of a sudden maybe they'll start missing Sabrina and her good content. And maybe, and next time you do it, you might even say at the end, hey, if you guys enjoyed what I did here, make sure you give a shout to whoever the organizers are, send them a note that says, we need more of this stuff. And maybe you can get some following from the people that, obviously, if you're getting that many people, you obviously do a good job and have a following. So why not take advantage of that and kind of, give a little push to the, it'll make them look better if they bring you on more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I had 26 people in my workshop last night.
Yeah, that's great.
That's obviously that's not a huge number, maybe in a big area, but this is a small area. That was awesome turnout where I am.
You're in Florida, right?
Yeah, but I'm in Citrus County, which is up by Crystal River, which is a small resort area.
Oh yeah.
Swim with the manatees. There you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sabrina, Chuck give a very good advice though, when you are approaching them and just say, asking for their feedback and asking, what do you think that I need to do or something, because by engaging to them, they think that you are, you're not trying to kiss them, but again, just by asking them for their feedback, make them feel like, whatever that they will say to you, it matter. And I think that's good, right? Because if you go to the person who set up the meeting, say that, hey, what is the feedback you get? Can you share with me? How can I do to improve it? Just engaging the conversation with them. And maybe
I should do that. Maybe I should call them today and say, what was the feedback on last night? Actually, everybody fills out a form.
Mm-hmm.
When they come in the room, they're given a feedback form. So everybody fills out a feedback form.
And then ask them personally, what do you think I can do to make this better?
Yes.
Because then everybody wants to feel important. And now you're kind of laying it in their lap that their opinion is important. Although you probably know, through your experience, you probably know what's important because you've got 25 people at a time asking you they're telling you what they want. But sometimes it takes a little bit to kind of, grease the rails a little bit and play on their, everybody's ego, play on their ego a little bit and ask them what they think. And really, it is just a technique to help you. You're not cutting them down. There's no harm there in asking their opinion. You don't have to take it. You're the expert.
I know it's a technique, but it almost feels like swallowing my pride.
I don't know if you're swallowing. I completely get I'm not saying suck up to them. No. I'm saying it in a very assertive fashion. Don't suck up at all. It's just say, hey, any feedback? Is there anything you think I'm missing that I could hit a little better? That's all. That's not sucking up. Not please praise my, you could even say, I feel like I'm getting good feedback from everybody who attended. Is there anything else I missed?
Yeah, and so in order for me to do better the next time, will you share the feedback? Because that they fill the form and they give the feedback, and you said, can you have a copy of that? I don't know. What do you think? And
Sabrina, I see that as being selfishly smart, and what I mean by that is selfishly stupid would be doing things that take other people down to get ahead. And I don't see that. I see that as it can only help you. And that's really what you're out to. You're only, again, it's the payoff is for you. And without taking somebody down, you can still, it becomes, I don't like the term win-win all around, but I think it's as simple as that and short. Don't go into some people want to go and have a big long conversation. Then it really sounds like you're sucking up. But if just less than 10 words, hey, what'd you think? Anything I need to add? I said, what did you think? Anything I need? 8 words. And that's what I would do. I tell you, I've had a lot of. I graduated 1 year from high school after Charlene. She thought I was some youngster.
Really? That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Boy, Charlene had a great meeting today. Yeah. You should have been there, Chuck.
I was the second
she had Ron Sukanik.
The network live.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I was doing? I was in my backyard. I was getting a 2-for-1, but I listened to her blab, and then I put a speaker out on my back porch and listened to that. My wife actually listened to it. She liked it because they were talking about persistence, and she was but we were putting out 10 yards of mulch this morning. So I listened to it in the backyard while shoveling and raking and wheelbarrowing mulch from our driveway. So I missed the second one.
Yeah, no, Sabrina, then one more thing, at the time that you do the presentation, and you might want to say that, okay, you offer a 20 minutes or half an hour to evaluate their website
No,
or
no, no,
something.
no. I'm not allowed to. It's not a sales pitch. Yeah, I'm not allowed to do a sales pitch.
Oh, okay. So I want to know, I want to learn more about Chuck. Can you give us
Well,
a brief bio of yourself?
I like success, Sean. I'm a Libra. I do like long walks on the beach, quiet nights at home. No. I am a physician. I am an anesthesiologist and pain management specialist who is the youngest of 10.
Uh-huh.
My mother was valedictorian of her college class in the 1940s in a double major, math and physics. My father was a physics major and a math minor. And I grew up in a pretty stringent household where education was king.
And expected.
Respect and education was expected. Yes, 9. So 9 of us are college graduates. 7 have advanced degrees.
Oh.
And so I got out of med school in 91, out of training in 96. So 20 years in practice. I live in Charlotte. I can tell you guys because there's nobody else hanging around, although it's recorded. I live in Charlotte. I actually work every other week. I go out of town and I work 24/7 for a week at a time, and hoping to use my other week to create a new, I don't know, not necessarily a new lifestyle, but I'd love to write and speak for a living. You know, when I was a kid, when I was younger, I always wanted to be a teacher and an actor.
What do you want to speak about, Chuck?
Well, I have a seminar. I have a program that I call a 416. And what it is I go in and I speak to the management. And, you know, it's because doctors are so dang busy. It happens, I get more feedback from dentists, believe it or not, because they have time set aside for staff development. I go in 4 weeks with basically coaching 4 weeks with the management staff, the leadership in a practice. And then I come in for 1 day and have the program. It's called Beyond the Vital Signs. So we don't talk about the things that you can teach a monkey, that anybody can learn. We talk about trust and relationships and communication and teamwork and what makes someone valuable. And I do that. And I basically, it's kind of Socratic in that I have them come back and tell me all the things that I've gone over the program over 4 weeks with the leadership, and we've kind of semi-customized it to what they want. And then what we do is we build an accountability program based around that. And they develop what's called a team member, well, I call it a cheat sheet. It's your evaluation cheat sheet. So I say, gosh, you want to get ahead? Here's how you get ahead. And they basically, here's your menu for how you get ahead. And then some of them take that and use that as part of their quarterly evaluation. So if the staff members know what's coming, you know, what's on their evaluation, they can work towards that. And then you can score them. And then I have something also called a teamwork scorecard where people, you know, in bigger practices, or bigger offices, you would just limit the number that you're judging your coworkers on their teamwork skills. And then there's a 6-week follow-up after that with basically accountability for the leadership and some videos that go along to the kind of a reminder videos to the people that were there during that. So that's just medical. And
is that your passion, the medical portion, or is it something else?
You know, the thing about it is I'm really into, what I found was, you know, all the things we talked about is everybody wants to win. I mean, there's nobody out there that wants to lose.
Right.
You know, the only time I would lose is if I had maybe a grandchild. I don't, but that I wanted to lose to my child to teach them a lesson, which in the long run becomes a win for me. Because winning is really an emotional experience. It's not about the trophy or the money or the prize. It's really what it does to you emotionally. So I'm really into that. And what I found was I was telling 2 different people that I know. I told a Division I head coach about what I was doing. And he goes, well, that applies to my teams.
Oh.
You need to talk to our athletic director so you can talk to all our coaches and then all our teams. And then I talked to a friend of mine who has a business that's family-owned business that's 58 years. They're in their 58th year. And I'm talking to him. I'm telling him and his wife goes, Chuck, you need to come speak to our staff. But we can't afford you.
So did you do it?
That was like that. That was just recently. No, my biggest problem is time. Time is.
Oh, I hear that.
Tough. Well, I'm in an attempt to move back home or work closer to home. My biggest issue there is they want me to work every day, Monday to Friday.
I got you.
And take call every fourth weekend. And then so my time off becomes, so I'm at a kind of a juncture here. What do I do? And so I need to make a decision, persist. I think I can make a living doing it. I think I can connect with the audience as well.
It sounds to me like you can.
Yeah, I think I can connect well with the audiences. I'm not overly stuffy. I'm kind of the undoctored doctor. And I have a little more realistic view of the world. I have, with my patients that were pain patients, you really learn what makes people tick. And I tell you what, I was a miserable guy. I was really a miserable guy. My great wife, who's somewhere around here, as I like to say, she should have shot me. She should have divorced me or shot me. I don't know which order. But we hung in there together, and now we get along spectacularly. I mean, absolutely fabulously. And because I'm a different person, my older daughter, 6 years older than my son, says it's unfair. He got the better father. So, it's hard. And I've had to say that. And interestingly, I was at a book writing workshop, and we were in small groups, and I was telling that everybody in the group had written a book except for me and one other person. And they said, I haven't written a book yet, but I have an idea. And then they said, well, what would your idea be? And I said, basically I'm a reformed asshole. And all their jaws dropped and said, what?
But they're all assholes too.
Yeah. But the thing about it is so the next day I find, and we all went around and talked, and, the guy next to me was, this guy, David Horsiger. He wrote this book, Trust Edge. He had the highest non-celebrity advance from Simon & Schuster. And then 3 or 4 other people, 2 people from England. Come to find out the next day, this woman who was in my group, she was the CEO of a publishing company. And she ends up calling me. She says, you got to write that book. We want to print that book.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, there's no congratulations, huh? I got to write the dang thing.
But see, when you're talking about that, when the question Sabrina asking you, is that your passion? When you say it, I can see it in your face. You light up. You just like, that's something you love.
My passion is really, there's just so much in everybody. And they tell you, oh, don't generalize what you're talking about. So you can't help everyone. And sure, I can't help everyone, but there's just, everybody can use some help. And what I found was a lot of the things that were bothering these patients who had a physical manifestation were things that everybody worries about. We're all similar, but we're all different because the details are all different. But like I tell all my patients, I want to protect you. I want to provide a safe environment. Sabrina, I'm sure you want a safe environment.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I think a lot of us are just looking for some compassion too.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Care and compassion is safe and calm and comfortable, where things aren't difficult. Sometimes when I'm, arguing with someone that might be vacuuming something in my house right now, I will get frustrated and say, why does it have to be so hard? So people just kind of want an easier path. They're not afraid to work as long as the path looks like it's obtainable. And they want to feel like somebody cares about them and that they're important. And I tell that to every patient that I take care of, that having anesthesia, going to sleep. Does that make
Oh yeah, because I'll tell you what, that scares me to death.
About what?
Having anesthesia and going to sleep.
But think about it. Anybody that comes to you, you know what? They want those same things. Sabrina, the people running those workshops, coming to those workshops, they're doing, you know what? They want to be, they want to know that you're giving them safe advice in a calm and comfortable and kind of break down barriers so it's easy. And then they want you to make them feel like they're important, like that matters, like you really want to help them, which obviously you do. You're doing it for free. I mean, hell, if you didn't give a crap and you can't promote yourself, I mean,
I can't promote myself. And I got to the end of the workshop and somebody said, okay, so now's the part where you tell us how much you'll build us a website for. And I said, no. I said, I'm not allowed to do that. So that's not why I'm here.
Wow. But let me go back to Chuck a little bit, because Chuck, you have a very easy way about you. And, it doesn't matter, some famous renowned doctor with their research staff of 150, but your voice that people want to hear. And then because you resonate with them, you don't talk down on them. You really meet them where they at. When the person said, hey, Chuck, I want you to write that book because I want to buy it, because you reach her, she connected with you. And because the books, I'm a avid reader. I read a lot. And, some people, they cannot bring themselves to earth, and they speak into the level of then, you have to get the dictionary and everything and try to read, to find out what they're saying. But you just say in the common sense, the language, that you can relate to people. And that's important. If that the book that you are writing, by any all means, get set up sometime, put in the block hours in 90 minutes or 60 minutes and keep on writing.
You want to know the name of my book?
Yes.
You'll like it, I think. It's called I'm Happy and It's All My Fault.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
I like that.
I like reformed asshole too, though.
Well, that's the first 4 words of the introduction.
I'm a reformed asshole.
It's provoking. That's why people would just say, "What the heck?" They just go like this.
Yeah, it is very thought provoking.
I've made every mistake. I can guarantee. The things that people do to, and I was greatly sarcastic, and I could cut down and make, I could play with people's emotions and really take advantage of that. And it did nothing. It didn't make me feel better. It only made them feel worse and made me an enemy. So it what it does is it doesn't benefit me. It's like getting mad and staying mad when it's not a character assassination. The only one getting hurt in the long run is me. And you think of road rage. A lot of times, in my small metal box with myself and my wife and 2 kids, the rest of the day, that impersonal act made personal ruins my day for my family. It doesn't ruin the other person that wasn't thinking.
Well, no, because they have that whole rage all bottled up and they just let it go on you. So now they're moving on with their day. Right. But so I would get mad and then it would affect my wife and affect my kids and affect our relationships. And the people do that all day, every day, and not even realize it. Mm-hmm. It's a very, very, very common for me with someone a pain patient, I would say, I've had so many families thank me for saying to someone, listen, your family didn't do this to you. You have to stop taking it out on them. Oh, those are big words right there, Chuck. You don't even know.
Yeah, they're just, these people can be brutal to their families, and they know I don't mean it. Oh, no, they don't know.
No, they don't.
And even if you don't mean it, it hurts if you hear it over and over and over again. It's not their fault. They're here with you. They're helping you. Why would you be mean to them?
On the heels of you saying that, I have to tell you that I have spent the last 5 years caring for my mother with cancer, her husband, and my mother-in-law.
Wow.
My mother recently, for 5 years, my mother recently passed in July. And so by virtue of her passing, her husband went to live with his kids. So now I'm down to just my mother-in-law. But during the course of that 5 years, I cannot tell you the shit that I have endured from these people. And so this keeping a positive mental attitude is really a big deal for me because I still have one of them living here and I am angry at her all the time. And I do the things I should do to pray about that and to try to put that anger and that problem somewhere else. But it's really hard to make it go away.
Absolutely. I can see that. You know what? Sometimes you have to tell yourself, you know what? You're really important. You're a good person. Look what you're doing here. They don't necessarily recognize that. The way I see it is you have an internal environment and an external environment. And the internal environment is in charge. You say, oh no, sister.
No, sister.
I'm not going to let you. As Haas says, there may be clouds, but the sun's always shining. You know, I can't, and it's tough. I mean, you're there. I can only say I feel for you. I mean, the thing that really tugs at my heartstrings is the fact that people don't necessarily care is a big thing for me. And,
oh yeah.
You know, I have a healthcare thing. Who took the care out of healthcare? You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the way I look at it, if somebody jump in to help and they have something to say about it, but if they just render their lips, what they say is not significant to me. And Sabrina, my hat is off to you because, you know, that is, you not just care for your mom, but your stepdad and, you know, your mother-in-law. And, you know, I mean, it's just like, you know, like, life is something very funny about that. You don't have to teach your children anything. They watch the way you taking care of your elderly and you will be taken care of. Because
I think my children are very proud of me. I'm not sure that they would do what I've done.
I just know you, but I'm so proud of you. And I so proud of our connection because I met somebody that's so beautiful. You know, just like Jack.
You're a stud. You know? Sabrina's a stud.
Well, I have to tell you, I do have to say that my children have watched this for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I am not so sure that they would do what I've done because they've seen all the nasty that came along with everything that I've done. My mother-in-law is 97 and a half years old, and she has turned into a hypochondriac. She now has that, there's a word for it, but I can't think of it at the moment, where she thinks everybody's stealing from her. I can come to the kitchen table with a necklace on, and she'll look across the table and say, Sabrina, that's my necklace, as if I went into her room and stole it, you know, and I'll say, no, it's not. And I'll just keep eating my food. But I mean, I've had to endure stuff like that for the last 5 years, and they've all seen that. So I'm not so sure that they will be around when it's my turn. Oh, they might be sending me over to Chuck's house. Yeah, no? Okay, just checking.
You know, I'm
going to lock the doors.
Yeah. I think that they will check, Sabrina, Chuck, I don't know if you agree with me. See, I grew up in I was the only child. I don't remember my father ever tell me, you must do this and do that. He lived his life and let me watch. And then when I came to this country, I always, if I'm thinking about something, I would say, what my father would do in a situation like this. And, you know, it just like he instilled certain value and it's stored into my subconsciousness. When the time needed, I just like pull it out because I want to honor my father. I want to live my life according to his word, according to his principle. And sometimes people think that I'm just like such a fool because that's how I live my life. But no, I'm honoring my father and I'm proud of it.
It's tough work being a rice farmer. Didn't your dad have a rice plantation? Huh?
No.
They were affluent.
I thought he grew rice.
Yeah, my father very affluent. He was the rice merchant and
the merchant.
Yes. So my experience is entirely different than a lot of Vietnamese people. But after the April 30th, 1975, my experience was somewhat horrifying. And you know, and I was the only child, but then my father felt the need for me to have a better life to get out of the country. So.
Hey,
Yes.
My son's best friend is Vietnamese. His parents were immigrated to the U.S., and neither one of them had any, and still don't have any formal education. And
Wow.
and he goes by, his name's John, but he was the first one to go to college in their
Yes.
family. So he didn't do well in high school.
Yeah.
And so he went to junior college, and we, out of our pockets, paid for him to have tutors while in junior college.
Oh, I have
And
goosebumps here. Yeah.
and he started the Rotary. It's Rotaract, which is the student side of Rotary at the community college in Charlotte, and he did really well. And he is my son's roommate this year at
Oh.
at North Carolina Chapel Hill. So this is a kid who did terrible on his SATs. We guided him along, and he was definitely against the odds. He wants to be a veterinarian. He's a good guy, and now he's at one of the better public schools in the nation, just because of his hard work. So that's.
I want to say into this effect. Chuck, you might thinking that John, that the person you help, but believe or not, you're talking about the benefit of the benefit. You certainly changed his life, and then with the people around him, later on he married, and the community, everything, with one act
The whole
of
trip.
kindness.
Sure.
Yeah, and then you just like, I actually have a goosebump because that is, that thing that one person you help, but you indeed help might be millions of people. Someday he will feel better about himself, and he in the position he can go to Vietnam and try to save his village. And I don't know, but you're talking about benefit of the benefit. What you did is just like remarkable, and I salute you. I am. I truly am.
Well, thank you. I didn't do it for we.
I know. See,
We didn't do it for anything other than, what, that's who I am. I see Ha, and I see Sabrina, and I see John, and I think, what's the possibilities there? What are the possibilities? If I can help them, this, and because I had my own transformation, so I think, I want to help other people just get things in line and really get what they deserve. If he works hard, if he has persistence and has the desire and makes the decision, and takes the mentorship to go in the direction they want, I think that most people can do a heck of a lot more with their lives and have a lot more satisfaction and get the things that they want, which is to feel important and safe and calm and comfortable and easy, and that they're cared for, and have a more sense of a control in their lives.
That's how sweet that is. Just like to sit here and talking to you guys. You guys enrich my life. I have such a great respect for Sabrina, and to take on the care, give her to her elder, her parents, and just be a person. In her presence, I feel I'm elevated. And then with you, Chuck, I did that, like, thank you, because see that, that's why I keep on searching for the good in people, and then the people who are not so good, I just tune them out. I switch the channel, and if you go into the blab, you will see a lot of good people, but you also see all the crazy stuff as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What do you think about the blab experience? I mean, there are certain things certain people I watch and like to follow, but there's just a lot of blah, I'm going to tell Charlene, she puts the B in blab, because the rest of it, without the B, the rest of it's just blah, 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 blah.
Sabrina, text me and said, we show up in the same blab all the time because we think alike. We're searching for the same thing. That's
Absolutely.
Why we're giving one and each other.
Yeah, just the small, I want the small little tips that people just kind of, I actually take notes off the side of I will cut and paste notes that people put in the side into my notepad on my computer and go back and read them, because people in passing will let out nuggets or type nuggets on the side that are just spectacular. And I have a notebook that, it's the same as this book, but this one's a new one, but that's more than 3/4 filled with just stuff people have said on the morning mindset, or on.
See, I have my journal too.
Yeah, and it's just notes I'm taking, and I'm just looking for nuggets that are going to make life better.
See, I always have the note with me when I listen or talk.
And, Sabrina, things that Sabrina says, the challenges. My big thing is what is your challenge? When I go to the business club, that's what I say. If you were going to have somebody, if you could talk about one thing to your staff, what would that one thing be? And so, I look at Sabrina and say, what's the one thing that I could help her do? And I think for Sabrina, the big thing is you're doing a great job. I mean, think of your personal worth. It's all about personal worth. Your self-worth should be, and it's easy to beat yourself into nothing because it's a pain in the ass to really be dedicated. And you're so valuable to her. Your own self-worth ought to be great. But you know what? I'm a good person. My kids, the people who you are closest to you emotionally, your children, your family, they think very highly of you. So Sabrina should be giving herself props all the time and saying, you know what? Exactly. I call that pat, the virtual pat. You got to be willing to give yourself the pat on the back, because you know what? Sounds to me like you're a pretty good person doing a pretty good job. She's 97 and a half. Obviously, you're feeding her and clothing her and keeping her away from bad things.
Mm-hmm.
She's still walking around. We're not talking about in a wheelchair or anything. She's still walking around. So I still take her out for a beer every Friday night.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I mean, seriously, you have done such a great job, and I'm so proud to really get to know you. And without the blab, I might not able to have the opportunity to meet you and Chuck. And let me tell you, I feel rich by our relationship. I feel a better person because of your presence, because of the environment that you make me feel.
Richer. Ha, you were rich a lot. You were rich when you had nothing. You were still rich. And that's the whole deal with Think and Grow Rich. The thing about it is the people that are rich before it all even begins, you can tell. And there's a lot of posers out there. There's a lot of there's a lot of stories about when did you know you were rich? And there's some people that are really insightful, and it wasn't me. I'm not one of them. Said I was rich when I was still dead broke, and that was because I knew if I worked hard and was sincere and honest and hardworking and did the right things, that I would one day would have all the things that everybody else wants. Your kids are really successful. You have the things that so many thousands, millions of people want. From what you describe, you have what they don't. They should be envious. So you're rich beyond. You're the sign of success. It looks like you have contentment and you're happy with how things have gone. That's success to me.
I'm happy. I'm happy with my life. Absolutely.
Yeah. See, I mean, that's.
Yeah. See, when you look into the mirror in the morning, you like the person look back at you. You okay? You have it made.
I don't look in the mirror.
I do.
Yeah, if you like the person, you look.
I don't have to straighten my hair anymore, so it's there's no need.
But from time to time, you will be surprised. Just take a look at yourself and say that, hey, I'm okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? A lot of people don't do that. What they do is, again, I said an internal and an external environment. Everybody looks to the external environment to look at the reflection. They use the environment as their mirror. How do I score around here? And really, it's like I said before, you're the boss, and most people don't realize that. They're still like when you were a kid and you depended on the external world for everything. They forget that as an adult, and they're still looking to the external world for everything when you're in charge.
Mm-hmm.
So Sabrina, keep on going. Do what you want to, what you need to do, and knowing that you do the best that you could. You give all the information. You didn't withhold anything, and the problem is there. If they don't recognize your value, they can. Do not let that determine your
I feel
value.
like I got all this personalized coaching today, you guys.
It's all the way around. It's all the way around.
Yeah.
You have experiences with your seminars and stuff like that I don't have. I mean, I do my thing when it fits into my schedule, which isn't very often, but you help me out. Ha helps me out every day.
Oh, thank you. When I see Chuck name, and it makes me smile, and when I think of you, Sabrina, my heart is singing because I singing because I really love the person that who you are, because it's very rare, especially in this country, to have taking care of elderly and take on the responsibility like that. That is very rare. You are one in a million.
I'm beginning to feel like you're talking about somebody behind me here. There's too much praise going on.
Yeah, when I see Chuck, I smile.
Smile.
Oh my God! Smile. Look at the size of that pooch.
He's only 80 pounds.
Only 80.
My pooch is only 6.
He was left in a bag on the side of the road, and my daughter rescued him. Really? And then she went to college.
Yeah, that's the way that works. Isn't that true?
Yeah, he was 20 pounds. All right.
Okay. Ms. Ha, our time for today is just about up. Do you want to wrap us up before you turn off the recording and give us?
Okay. I did want to, before I stop this segment, and I did want to remind everybody, it is your life and you are worth fighting for. So live your life with your passion and let your vision guide you, and let your heart lead the way, because, after all, you are worth it. Thank you.